Good morning. It's the 29th of July. Unbelievable that we're going to be in August. August starts for me the kind of traditional kind of speak properly traditional hedge cutting kind of month. So I tend to have already got all my my summer weed and feed jobs done, and by that I mean a seasonal fertilizer and a selective herbicide. Two separate things, normally put down one after the other and I do it in one visit if the weather allows. And then basically since 2018, that drought of 2018, I took on some hedge cutting jobs, and yeah, that's basically what I do to fill my time on that, because quite often as we get into August, the lawns are burnt up, too dry to maybe warrant a cut, or certainly too dry to be looking to feed or do anything like that. And yes, you can water them, and yes, you can put wetting agents down on them, but unless you can get the right amount of water down, what's the point? And a lot of these clients, their lawns are just far too big for them to be watering. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So a couple of things. Obviously last week with the pressure washing gate, or whatever we want to call it, I've spoken to the client and she was very apologetic actually, and she didn't think it was something, I guess she just didn't think ultimately, but she's apologised, and essentially the job is mine next time it needs doing. It's really weird, it's kind of funny, and I guess it's totally on me, it's my fault, but it almost felt like I'd been cheated on in some way, because you know, that lawn, I've looked after that garden for 9.5 years, and then you just turn up one day and a load of work that you do and you've spoke to the client about is just been done, and then you're like, oh right, okay. So it's almost a bit of shock really, I suppose. So yeah, so anyway, it's all sorted, it's fine. I think it was a combination of a lot of things happening on that day, and the stress of trying to get done as well. One of the stresses of Friday was on the Thursday when I was at the property where I cut the boundary hedge, and I couldn't do the top. I couldn't do all of the top because I just couldn't reach it, and I wasn't allowed onto the next door neighbour's property because it's too intrusive to just get that last sort of section, if you like. I was thinking to myself, I wonder if there is a hedge cutter that is long enough to get it. So I was using my combi hedge cutting with the meter extension pole, and I couldn't quite get it. And actually today we're on a hedge cutting job, and again there's a similar situation where there's just a bit, it's a holly bush hedge, and there's just a bit I just can't quite get. So I spoke to a friend of mine who knows all about hedge cutters and hedge trimmers and everything, and said, is there something I could use? And he said, you want to try Still HLA 86, which is basically a telescopic hedge trimmer like this one. And he said, I have one and you can borrow it, but I'm going on holiday next week, so you need to pick it up on Friday. So I had to race around after dropping the kids off on Friday. I had to go and race around, pick it up, and to make sure that I've got it in time, ideally for Thursday's trip visit, but also I can use it today. However, having now extended the pole, taken my usual combi with the extension, with the cutter on and the extension pole, what I found out, and as I will, if I stand this side of the screen and I tag the photo here, you'll see that actually, particularly with the handle, the combi unit is longer. So I'm still in the same situation, so I can't really use it as I intended to, but I've got it for the week, so I will try it out and I will use it. I think it feels lighter than this one anyway, so even if I just use it as a normal hedge cutter, and also we're talking marginal sort of differences in length, the actual pole's the same. It's only because you've got this handle here that you can kind of hold it a bit further out, whereas with that one you kind of have to hold it here. So actually the pole and the cutting end is sort of the same. It just might be nicer, more comfortable, easier to use. This feels a lot sort of less vibration-y, even though they're both battery. So yeah, I'm going to have a good sort of test and explore with that. And then also, when you do want to get that little bit higher, you can just extend it, as opposed to having to take the head off, get the extension pole, clamp that in. Normally it doesn't quite fit, so you just got to like spin it around a little bit, get it in, get the next one in, get that bit you want to get, and then potentially then take it all back off again. So this is going to be a lot more convenient, the telescopic one. So anyway, we'll see what we're doing. No Jacob today, which is a shame. He's on holiday. I assumed he was back, but he seems to have not been back, so I'm on my own today. And then tomorrow we've potentially got a trial of someone new who has a job and they're just looking for part-time work, which I thought this will be great. Met up with him at the weekend, had a good chat. However, since looking at, he's given me his work schedule for the rest of the year, and since like he's explained how it works as such, I don't know how much work I'm actually going to be offering him, because it's very, very kind of ad hoc. For instance, he had 2 days off work today, but he can't make today, which is a shame. And he can, and actually originally he said he couldn't make tomorrow, but I sort of explained, like, you need to sort of come and see it and do some work and see if you like this kind of work, because there's no point going, yeah, let's book you in a load of days, and then on the first day you don't like it. So tomorrow's just a fortnightly mowing in the local area. Let's get you out and see whether you like it or not. Which he's now, so he's changed his plans, so that's what he's going to do. But then he's not available for 3 weeks. So then when he is available, it's not like he's doing lawn care or gardening or anything like that. And it's not like he's a gardener who's just looking for extra hours and stuff like that. So essentially I can't just leave him somewhere to get crack on. He's got to be with me, so I've got to make sure that day is that there's enough work for him, and that I'm making a profit off of him. Otherwise, what's the point? I'm essentially just giving him some of my day's takings, if you like. So yeah, it's and because he's not going to be doing other days, so I appreciate that sometimes you're not going to make the full money you want to make off someone, because you might have a rain day or something like that, and they might end up just sharpening blades or cleaning the tools or doing whatever. But on other days, you make some and some, if that makes sense. So that kind of covers the rain days. But because he's only going to be doing periodic days every now and again, and he's not going to be doing it enough to be sort of left on his own, I'm struggling to see whether it's going to work or not. But hey, if he's available and I just need someone to wheelbarrow turf down to me, then maybe he is available. But I wonder whether that'll work for him. Who knows? And on those days that he is available, who's to say that then we're not going to have torrential rain on those days, so there's no work anyway. So who knows? But it's worth exploring. Seems a decent lad. Yeah, we'll have to give it a go tomorrow and see where we're at. Anyway, I'm just loading up now because we're going off to a day of hedge cutting. Okay, so essentially today the job is this very wavy yew hedge, and then you can see that straight hedge along there. You've got the bulls, which the gardener likes to take care of, so that's fine. I tend to do these. There's one over there as well, and then if we come over here, then the perimeter, I tend to do that section there, and then basically all the way around over there as well, and the top, and then maybe we'll do a little bit of the sort of the shrub work right over there. And yeah, so today the job will be get this done, and then get as much of this done, but certainly from the tree house to to where the trees go there, so that bit, because that's kind of like the view, if you like. So that just kind of tidies that up. If I've got time for any more, then I'll do it. I've done this all on my own plenty of times before, but equally I've had people help me, so it is one of them. So we should just crack on and see where we're at. I'm using, particularly for these bits, the steel SHA 86. Now, as I've learned more, remember I'm the lawn guy, not the hedge guy, so it's been a learning curve for myself as I've learned more about hedge cutting. The Ego hedge cutter that I've got, that I didn't really get on well with at the start, because I understand it more now. It's much easier now to use it for the right uses. So the Ego hedge cutter, the blade speed is much lower and the gaps are a bit bigger, so that's quite good for sort of yearly cutbacks or just kind of like unruly hedges a little bit. Whereas when you want to do something which is finer, more like I mean, this is quite big growth, but I've got some other yew hedges where they're cut maybe twice a year, so the finer cuts, that's where you want a higher speed and a closer spacings. So the 86 here, the Stihl 86, that kind of covers that, so it works quite well. I got a demo of this actually, or borrowed it off a friend, and I used it and I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. And then obviously, sort of after COVID and everything, all this stuff was really difficult to get hold of. So I placed my order on it, and by the time it finally turned up, actually they brought a new version out where the handle at the back twists and stuff like that. So I mean, it is what it is with timing, but I don't do a great deal of hedge cutting that it's a major issue, but it's certainly nicer than using petrol. The vibration damage in my elbows was horrific, the pain, and I don't get that with the battery, so I'm all for it. I love it. Anyways, let's crack on. Okay, first minute in, looking pretty fresh. Okay, so first one done. Just did a little bit of touching up here and there, but essentially done. I can't think what time it is, hasn't taken me that long. What I did do is, just to sort of get some of the bits I can't quite reach in the middle, I did use the long armed hedge trimmer, just to give it a go really, because I don't really need it, but I suppose it's a little bit lighter perhaps than the, I don't even know, I don't think it is, I don't know. It's similar to the combi, but I thought I'd use it while I've got the opportunity. So yeah, I think I'll crack on with the next one and then just do all the tidying up at the end before I move on to the other stuff. Okay, so one section done, two sections done. Just finishing up there. Just need to blow the tops off just a little bit more, and then onto these sections here. But I just need to go and get like some rakes and stuff, just to sort of pin and pull this all the flowers and what have you, the grasses back, so I don't start snipping unnecessarily. I have gone round this side and just gone literally down the side of the wall there, so again that needs to be cleared up. So yeah, progress. So anyways, you've got to have a summer hat in this weather. This is an old golfing one from when I used to play golf in Spain. Me and my mates have got one, and actually it works quite well, certainly for weather like this, because I assume it's about 30 degrees probably. So anyway, tidying all that up, as I say, just on my own today. I don't know if I said earlier in the video or not, had a sort of a very informal interview with a guy who was looking for some part-time work. Having looked at his schedule, I'm not entirely sure he's going to be able to actually work that many days, because it's working his schedule in with my schedule and the weather, which is a major thing. So that's that. Jacob is leaving. He's been leaving for the last couple of months. He's got an apprenticeship at a golf course, so fair enough. Good luck to him. He's just told me that they have called him and they want him to start earlier, essentially with immediate effect. So that means I'm down to nobody, apart from one guy who's wants to work, but his schedule probably won't allow him to work too much. on the days I need him. So I've frantically just put together a little job advert that I'm going to just put on the local community page, local Facebook page. Essentially, I just need a part-time person for Mondays and Tuesdays through August for the big Hedge jobs, but to the successful candidate that might lead to something a little bit more regular. And hey, she shows they're good, then there's no reason why there couldn't be a potential full-time role available as well. It's just getting the right person. So I've literally chucked something very, very quick together, essentially just saying what I've just said to you, and apply at hello@lawnguy.co.uk. So we should see how that goes. So anyway, I'm dealing with all that as well as trying to clear up this stuff. This is the problem. Working on your business and in your business are two very, very difficult things when you do them at the same time. That's the Hedge from over here now. So this is the other one I was going to get on with. The plan was, had there been two of us, was to smash that out and then smash this all the way down and round. I'm pretty sure on my own I've not done it all, but I've done nearly some of it. Sorry, most of it. But yeah, I've just done a job advert and I've just posted it on Facebook. Feel free to like and share it if you want. Don't share it if you're up north. I don't think I'll get anyone willing to travel down here. So yeah, so what I am going to do is basically from here to, you can see where those long bits or wispy bits there is, if I can get the front of this done and then and cleared away, and then I just tickle a little few more areas perhaps before I run out of time. But essentially that's the job now. It's about, I don't know, 2:30, so a little while to go yet. And I'm going to use this bad boy because I've got it, the HLA 86, see what it's all about. I would normally use either well, actually I really found the Ego struggled last year to get through this. So I ended up using the long-handled hedge trimmer, the combi. So I might stick with this one. I think at this point, as it was struggling to go through the holly, and I nearly hit myself in the face with it when it I was like almost having to tug at it, and then it came through, and I was like, threw me back. Yeah. So anyways, there we go. Okay, so all done. Got all the tools back up here. I'm just gonna spray some spray on the blades there. So I got obviously all those U's done, and then as I showed you in the video, I showed you the perimeter hedge. So I got the face of that done as I said I was gonna do. One thing I thought I'd show you is, so what I've been doing is between the two hedge trimmers, I've just been swapping one battery back and forth, and that was the AP200. I've used one battery all day and I've still got one green light going. So I mean, hedge trimmers, there's no need for petrol hedge trimmers anymore as far as I can see. You know, one battery lasts all day. I did have an AP300 on the blower. I used one battery, definitely used one battery, and then I put the other one in, and I've still got two lights on that. We shall wait to see what Tuesday brings. I'm going to have a chat with this new guy because I need to just give him some details about tomorrow, but I'm also going to have a chat with him, and because the more I think about it, I just can't see that his schedule and my schedule are going to work, and I don't want to waste his time, and I don't want to spend money on training him to or lose money on training him for him to not be able to turn up because his schedule just doesn't work with mine. So anyway, we'll have a quick chat in a second and come up with a plan. Morning, so it's Tuesday, so we're going to keep Tuesday short because yesterday was quite a long video and stuff. So, but essentially it's just fortnightly mowing, which you've seen a million times this season already. So Jacob's obviously gone with immediate effect, and he goes with our blessing, or my blessing. He was always had the job at the golf club for a good month now, and they told him he didn't need to start till start September, which was perfect for me because it's those August Mondays and Tuesdays where I do the big hedging jobs, and really it's a two-man job to get it all done. And as we've had droughts and I've had to sort of look for other work. These hedge jobs have kind of built and built and built. So yeah, desperately need someone. So I've put adverts out on the local community page, Facebook community page, put an advert out on just on my Facebook page, stuff like that. So that's that. Spoke to the new guy, and basically explained that he in theory was going to come with me today just to sort of do a trial run on mowing and stuff like that. Essentially, it was just going to be my normal day. I was just going to eat the cost of him coming with me. But when I looked at the books and I looked at everything that he could do between now and October, including today, really I could only offer him 4 days. And those days were going to be potentially, like, he could do 1 day of the hedge work in September, and that he would be with me on the big scarifying jobs or aeration jobs, autumn stuff. So again, he was just going to be raking up and sweeping up and stuff like that, and you don't need to come for a trial day on mowing to see whether you can rake up or not. So it just was a waste of money really, and a waste of his time, because, well, not necessarily a waste of his time, but it wasn't going to benefit me any. So yeah, we've basically kind of left it that it's probably not going to work out. But if I can't find anyone between now and his next available day, then what I will do is I will, depending on how likely it's looking that I found someone, he's happy for me to give him a call if I'm really sure, and if he's free, he'll gladly come and help. So it was all left really nice. A lot of communication the whole way through, and a lot of communication from the start that this probably won't work, but it was good. It was worth investigating. So we've, it was until I got his schedule and I literally wrote all the days down on my calendar and then started putting in the work as I see it's going to happen, that we realised it was never meant to be really, I suppose. So anyway, that's that. You may remember at the start of the year, I think I did I've done 2 really massive lawns. And one of them was where they call me in every now and again when their tractor mower stops working or breaks down, and then it goes off to be mended, and then the grass gets out of hand and they just need someone to tame it while their mower's out of action. So there was that one, but then before that there was another lawn. I think they reckon it's about 3 acres. I did measure it, and I've said in that video, but I can't remember what it was, but it's certainly a big lawn. And they actually have a Husqvarna battery, a robot mower, cut it, and they had some work done, so they'd had to disconnect the cables, I think, as they were digging, and then also they'd had loads of flower beds and like islands put in, and they hadn't had the cables put around, so the robot was just going to plough through the new beds and things like that, and potentially into a pond and everything else. So they said, could I come in and just get it down to a height that the mower can take over, and then also they'll then get the cables put in by that time. So I instantly was like, I can't see this thing working. She messaged me yesterday saying that it has got, so it's the beauty of this is it's a really big lawn, so it's a good tractor job, and it's 3 minutes from my house, so it's perfect. So that's why I jumped at it last time. She messaged me yesterday saying that the robot mower is just, I think maybe it went down for a little bit, and then with the rain and the heat and everything, the grass has just got way out of control. Could I come and mow it and get it down? So yeah, no worries. So actually I'm going to do that Saturday morning, and I've said, look, I'm really busy, so I'm going to be in early, so expect noise from early doors. She's like, yeah, absolutely no worries with that, although she has just told me that there's one area that they've just completely left and it's got wild, and she's concerned that the mower won't be able to cut it. If you remember the really long stuff, which was almost thigh high, it was dead dry though. At that last big job I did, the mower can cut pretty much most things, apart from, I wouldn't want to get it cutting brambles and stuff like that, but as far as long grass goes, it's on its highest height, it's pretty good side discharging. So I'm just going to pop by, have a look quickly, If it is out of control, then I might have to borrow or hire, should I say, one of those. Forget what they're called. They look like little go-karts, those sort of mulchery type things. But we will assess it, or certainly if it is too long, I'll just cut everything apart from that bit. So yeah, it's going to be a hot one today. So yeah, I will. Unless something extremely exciting happens, I will probably call it time on today's part of the vlog, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is bright and early for a big selective weed killing job at a property, as a Friday property actually, and then just a fortnightly cut, and then another fortnightly cut, but she wants me to do some hedging, so yeah, so I'll be hedging there. So that's that. Cool. Right, see you later. Okay, hello. So it's Wednesday today. Tuesday kind of went as expected, very hot. Quoted I don't know if I said quoted or I didn't quote. I just went and had a look at the one of the really big jobs I did around Easter time, I think it was. Their robot mower has broken, so yeah, they need the robots are not quite ready to take over. So anyway, this morning I've been back at a Friday job, just spraying a little bit of seaweed on the front lawn, and then some selective, actually all over, but just selective on the back lawn, just to get rid of some of those weeds. Where I fed it recently, the weeds also grow, so yeah, looking to get control of that. Now, obviously I was there on Friday, and if you remember last week's video, Friday just wasn't going very well at all, and anything that could go wrong was going wrong. When I arrived back at the Friday job today, I walked around to the back garden to see a massive massive window pane smashed, and I was just like, oh no. I mean, the way Friday was going, it may as well have been me, but it seems to be the case that it wasn't me. Fortunately, it was in a bit of a weird position had it been me, and also I think I probably would have noticed it was a big old pane of glass. So fortunately, it wasn't me. They've since paid their bill. They've not mentioned it, and actually the glass people were there fixing it as I was leaving. So it seems as though everything's okay. So yeah, so just doing some fortnightly lawns now. Although one of them's going to be a cut, and the other one's just going to be some hedge work. I've been in, and it's all in the same road, so that's great, perfect. A full day in this one particular road, and then I'm back here for another full day on Friday. It's all about getting them close together. It's taken a long time to get to this stage, mind you. So that's that. So I put out an advert for a sort of an immediate start a job advert for mainly just August, but if for the right candidate it could be regular part-time, or it could potentially even lead to full-time. I had 2 responses, and all I've done is put it on my Facebook page, shared that post on my private, sort of my Facebook page, and then I shared the post on the local community Facebook page. So as I say, I've had 2 guys come back to me, so I've replied to them just basically saying, look, these are the dates where I really need someone. If you're going to be on holiday and miss most of them, then there's no real point. And also asked them what their sort of intentions are. Are they looking for more regular work? Are they looking for a full-time role, or is it just something that they are doing to make a bit of cash before they go to university or college or whatever in, well, I guess just slightly over a month's time. So I will wait to find out between them, because it may be that one of them, ideally, one of them is looking for regular work and is also available for all the dates where I need them. And essentially they're really big hedge jobs, which Jacob was penciled in to do for me, but obviously the golf course need him and he's gone. So yeah, it's just too much. I mean, these hedge jobs are going to be a couple of days with 2 of us on them. So and I, with the mowing schedule that I've got, I just haven't got any other time to throw at it, and I can't add any weekends to it either. So yeah, it seems as though one of them did say that he's certainly available for next week for the hedging days. I know that the other guy who was going to come on part-time, sort of very ad hoc, I know that his availability means that he could possibly do the following week. So maybe that will get me halfway through. I'll have to find out. So yeah, all very exciting. Okay, so Thursday, had an opportunity to spray some weeds. Not much going on today really. I have got the henchman up and on, clamped on, and actually this client who owns it, he's also got a tool hire shop, and he said they've just bought the even bigger ladder for hire purposes. So should I need an even bigger one, then I've got one that I can hire at a very, very reasonable rate. So yeah, all done. I'll just show you this garden. It's just the apples are all falling down, so cleared all those up, went around the beds there. Actually Jacob's trimmed that down, but I've just gone over it today. And then we've got these areas over here still. So yeah, reasonably green lawn. It's all undulating like that. See, what's happened, I think, is you can see the wheel marks, and I think what it is just watching, it looks like obviously that hedge, it looks like there's someone in the hedge cutting bits away, so maybe they're going to do the rest of it, who knows. It just looks like the person who lived here before, he's just stayed in the same lines. He's like obviously striped it up and down, and he's just done the same lines for years and years and years. And what you've got is like those sort of indents now where the tyre marks are. So when you do when you go side to side, it sort of goes, you sort of almost end up going up and down like this. That's why it's really important to vary the directions you go, even, you know, 2 directions. I tend to sometimes go 2 directions one year and then diagonals the next year if it sort of makes sense. That's more so for mowers that are just wheels on. If you've got a roller on, it doesn't quite matter so much, because the roller spreads the weight. Morning, so it's Friday, so I think this week so far nothing really, it hasn't been particularly exciting or anything. It's just been a pretty steady week. Everything, although I've been flat out, it's all been kind of behind the scenes, like working on the business as opposed to working in the business. So not really a great deal to show you, I suppose. But then I thought that last Thursday, and then Friday went mental, so so we shall see. So what you've just seen is a storm that passed through yesterday, and I had finished mowing my last client about 10 minutes before that came through, and I was on my way to the container, and then all of a sudden it came through, and I was just like, oh, I'm not getting out in this. So I just went home, and that's why I'm up here sorting everything out now. Today is the normal mowing day, although the only difference is I'm going to be bringing the tractor home with me, because we have a mowing job tomorrow, which I may have spoken about. If not, I'll speak more tomorrow about it. So I just need to make sure I've got the ramps and everything relevant to bringing the tractor home. I didn't film anything at the first property, just got to the second. Been cut yet, so it's not been cut yet, but there you go, that's the lawn there. I have no idea what this is. I can only assume those idiots from last week have spilt something, and it's you can see where it's run. Your hydrangeas are dying off nicely, if that is the effect that you want. That's what happens, isn't it? Anyways, right, so going to cut the grass, and then yeah, show you it when it's done. Okay, so all been cut. It's the same as it was, just shorter. So tomorrow, no, it's Friday, so
Friday to Monday even, I'm going to be cutting this hedge. So well, basically one half of the day I'm going to be next door doing that half and try and do the top from his half, and then I'm going to come round here and do that bit, and then the bits I couldn't have got the first time around, I will get on this side. It is easier, I think, to do most of it from his side because the land just sort of drops away there where it doesn't on his side. So it just makes it a bit easier to do ultimately, and that is with the big the big henchman ladder. So yeah, then what we'll do is we'll then, once that day's over, we will come back at another and get all these get all the bamboo shaped. This hedge here, so we're at Wednesday's lawn where we treated the weeds, and actually on this one just put some seaweed down just to help against the heat stress. So you can just see the weeds here. Can you see how they're just beginning to stand up, curl up? That's perfect. That's a perfect sign that they are dying off nicely. These are all plantains. Oh, there you go. There's a perfect in shot daisy, because you can see that these bits here are curling over. So perfect. Yeah, the back, I think there's a lot more weeds in the back, so that might be better. But yeah, we're going to stripe this up nice, although, you know, a week later the stripes are still visible. I'm still cutting it a little bit longer than I normally would, which means that it is quite long now, but it's just keeping a little bit more moisture in the leaf, and by doing that it just helps it stay that bit greener. So yeah, pretty pleased. Saturday, 8 o'clock in the morning. So this is one part of the lawn. You may remember this from a reel. This normally, sorry, a previous, talk about reels with someone else at the minute. You may recognise this from a video earlier in the year. This gets cut by the Husqvarna robot mower. It's not behaving, so I'm in here to cut it all down. It's a lot shorter than it was last time, but you'll see it gets a bit longer in other areas. Little section I've already trimmed through here, and then this is the third section. So we're going to trim all round there. I've already trimmed that bit. There's the root boy, and here we go. There's all of this, and I'll